Today's show is a little bit different. We had our Dream Interpretation Summit over the past 3 days, and today's show is going to be clips from that event. Why? Because I managed to lose my voice over the weekend. So this is something that we thought about doing before. Perfect time to do it. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy. Enjoy this Q&A from our event. If you like it and want to watch the whole event, you can watch it for free. The link is below this video.
Yes.
I see Ruth says, what does having no shoes mean? I know that one.
Well, you can start with that one, but I have others.
All right, shoes. We wear shoes to suit whatever we're going to do, whatever the task at hand is. And so having no shoes means that with regard to the subject matter of the dream, you're not equipped to move forward. But you need to know the context of what the subject matter is in order for that to make sense of the rest of the dream.
So someone asked about lucid dreaming. Are you going to cover anything on it? And I figured that's a quick one for you to go over and talk a little bit about.
Yeah. And, we're going to have somebody on one of these or on the radio show talking about lucid dreams. Lucid dreams are, of course, where you become aware that you're dreaming. And there's various levels of lucidity. You can just be aware you're dreaming, but not aware enough to do anything different. You just know you're in a dream. And you're still faced with all the challenges and obstacles and things that are happening in the dream. The next level of lucidity is where you can face things and deal with things in the dream because you know it's a dream. You know somebody pointing a gun at you is no real danger and so on and so on. That's actually a really good state of lucidity to get into because it kind of takes the fear out of things. And yet you still go through the dream though, kind of aware. It's a dream, but not really changing a lot, but the fears don't get you. So it's usually pretty good. I have a lot of dreams or had where I would be somewhat lucid during the dream and then get more lucid as the dream went on. And so one dream where I was looking at a guy building a wall in the middle of a park, and he's building this wall on this green grass. And I'm walking past, I even say hello to him. And I go into the shopping center, and then I get more lucid and I realize that dream represents a wall around my heart, me keeping people at a distance. And I run back in the dream. I'm lucid enough, but still like looking at the guy kind of apologetically, and I start pushing the wall over and he just looks at me and laughs. So, it's funny because that's what I was meant to do in the dream. So you can really accelerate your healing if you can become lucid in your dream and do what the dream asks you to do. Another thing you can do, and we're going to talk to somebody on Sunday about this, is you can meditate on the dream and go back in and do what I just did in my dream. Make the changes that you should have made. And it still works. It doesn't matter that the time has passed between you having the dream and you doing that. In fact, it doesn't matter how much time has passed. But then you need to know, what do you need to do? Should I knock the wall over? Should I? So you have to understand the dream enough to know what to do. The next level of lucidity is where most people aim for. And that's like, hey, I'm in a dream, I'm going to fly. And you just fly around and do all sorts of crazy things. If you do that in a dream, we can't interpret it because you change the dreamscape. You often will leave that environment and go somewhere else. Some people get lucid enough to where they're like, oh, I'm going to try talk to my guides, or I'm going to try visit some particular place. And it's a lot of fun, but you can't interpret them. Once you change the dream consciously, you can't interpret the symbols anymore. All right.
All righty. The next one, which you just led into so nicely, is what does it mean you spoiled the dream? How do you do that? And I think you just explained.
Well, yeah. So if there's a knock at the door and you open it and Dracula's at the door and you scream and run away from the door, you've already spoiled it. Your dream doesn't start off to have Dracula or Frankenstein or some other monster appear at your door. The idea of that dream is for you to get in touch with your masculine side, if it's a man at the door. But your fear of doing that, based on your reality, not anything made up, but based on your experience in life, is that this is going to be horrible. I don't want to do it. It's going to be a nightmare. And so your dream becomes a nightmare. So we change our dreams instantly. So that's a way that we spoil them. And we can go back into that dream and welcome Dracula in. And even if you're visualizing this dream, he will change character and he will typically turn into somebody that you know, and maybe even somebody you admire a lot, some like, male actor. So yeah, we taint our dreams based on our own experience. And because of that, though, that's how we're able to interpret them and say, this is what went on for you. There are other things that we do. We can just, like somebody is trying to sell you a green dress for $7 and you're like, I'll pay $4. Even though $7 is crazy and it's lovely green jeweled dress, we spoil the dream by arguing with the symbolism. 4 is about limitation. 7 is about a spiritual purpose, your spiritual mission. And so a green dress, a guide offering you a green dress says that you've got a counseling skill. And by offering $4 for it, you're saying, I want to limit that. So there's many ways we spoil it. So what you do is you go back into that dream and you offer whatever the guide asked you to pay. Even if you don't understand the dream, that's one you can definitely go back in and just give what they asked, because what they asked has a specific meaning. And during the dream that you're cheating them, that you're saying, this is rubbish. Like, I've got the broken gift. You want me to counsel? Are you nuts? Like, that's what your response is. It's not just about the money.
Very good. Do we reactivate our conflict in our dreams?
What do you mean? Reactivate our conflict?
Yes.
Well, our dreams are going to show the conflict, but I wouldn't say reactivate it. It's there already, and our dreams show its source. They're probably trying to get us to address it so that we can do something about it. But we just see more of the conflict.
How does telepath occur in dreams? Telepathy?
Okay, so if you go to the astral plane, which we do, many of us do when we leave our bodies at nighttime, we have conversations with our guides, with loved ones, with all sorts of people, some who are past and some who are still with us. We bump into them there. And the conversations that we have with people are telepathic. Nobody's lips move. And so I often point that out to people when they say, I had this dream and this person said that and this other person said that. And you're like, did their lips move? And usually they don't. And so those dreams with dialogue in them are actually us working into our dream the conversations that we had on the astral plane. A lot of the time, it's the advice from our guides and so on. And it's interesting. The fact that some people can remember those, they're the same people. The people who remember dialogue are the same people who have flying dreams, because it represents the ability to project your mind to that plane and bring it back and still stay conscious and in your body and all that sort of thing. But telepathy works through the brow chakra. We teach it in channeling, in our channeling classes. Some people, that's their mechanism. And so the guides will talk to them through thoughts. But anybody who has that, they can also usually and do activate the ability to pick up other people's thoughts in the room. And for a lot of them, it's just a kind of spontaneously happens. If you're spiritual, you can be like, I feel bad when that happens because I don't want to be reading other people's thoughts. But you bring that with you on purpose. Like if somebody comes to you and says, all this crap is going on in my life and I don't know what the issue is and blah, 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 blah. A person with this gift, with your blessing, you don't even have to say to them, hey, read my mind. But they can get there and they can channel the core issue, the core wound, the core whatever, that is just not on the surface for you and get it that way. But yeah, it's a cool one because, well, there's lots of reasons it's cool. You can have a conversation with your guides if it works through telepathy. And like, so somebody asks you a question and they give you an answer and you're like, really? How is that good for them? Why would they? And you can have all of that conversation and share all of it with the person you're reading for.
Symbol playing cards or casino?
Well, that would be the idea that life just deals the cards that you get. Like there's no structure to it, when in fact there is amazing structure to everything. The things that kick you in the teeth are specifically designed for you to kick you in your perfect teeth. I'm exaggerating a bit, but that's what life is. It's like it gives you the opportunities to see the issues plain and simple in front of you, so that you know that you have to deal with them. So there isn't really an element of chance in life. At least it's not designed that way.
The color orange.
It's about the digestive system or assimilation. So you can have a lot of orange in your dreams if you're trying to absorb something new. It's the same chakra that feeds our digestive system, the upper part of our digestive system. And so we often will say things too, like, I need to chew on that or digest that, what you just said. There's a lot in that. And so that color helps us take on new things. It's also a color for ambition and drive and so on. And mixed with other colors, it can be about career. But what I love about the meaning of colors is it's true for everybody. That color means that for everybody.
Mm.
It's healing for the digestive system too. So if you dream about it, you probably have digestive system issues. I'll shut up, Sandy.
All righty. What are some of the symbols of past life, and how do they appear concerning past life subject matters?
So you're never really going to have a dream about a past life subject matter unless it pertains to this life too. So if you dream about a past life, usually you could be in a foreign country, one you've never been to before. That would be enough. You can dream of castles and cobblestones and things like that. That would be enough, like old world settings or old world things. You could be speaking a language that you don't know. It's like, okay, that's something new. That has to be a past life because you're not doing it in this one. There are many other things as well that will give away that it's a past life. But what you will usually find is that past life will make sense of something that is going on in this life today. I remember working with one particular person, and she felt that all her issues in life resulted from the fact that she's a woman in business, and it's a patriarchal world, and there's nothing she can do as a woman that is going to fix that issue. So it's like she's screwed. And her dreams and her regression brought her back to other lifetimes where she was a man. They even brought her back to a lifetime when she was in the Forbidden City in China, and she was an elite martial artist in the Emperor's Guard. And she was a man in those lifetimes. And she still had that feeling that life is miserable and then you die and there's nothing anybody can do about it. And so the dreams were showing her it's not from this lifetime. We just have successfully embedded it in your subconscious for this lifetime so that you can do something about it. And so seeing that in her dreams allowed her to really go, oh my God, I've had all these lifetimes where this has been my problem. I'm going to fix it in this one. And she did, but it's understandable. It's true for whatever our issues are. When somebody comes along and says to you, oh, that's something that you're kind of doing to yourself, you want to just hit them, And dreams are kind of that way. They don't hold any punches, but they also don't wag any fingers. They say, look, this is how you are. But they say it from the understanding of you have no choice but to be how you are because of the experiences you've had in this lifetime. They never blame you for anything. And that's really beautiful to see that your dreams were going to join the dots between what's going on for you today and the things in your life that happened previously that led up to those things that are going on today.
That was good. How do you know if a dream is about your ex or just a person with his traits?
It's about letting go of the impact of those traits on you. So if you've been in a bad relationship, like say you caught your partner cheating on you, and it's really hard, horrible experience. You eventually get out of that relationship, and then you finally say, okay, I'm open again. I will let somebody else into my life. And you're looking at them out of the corner of your eye going, you better not cheat me, bastard. And you're tarring them with the issues that your previous relationship had. And you're saying to yourself, I'm going to let this person prove themselves to me. And when they prove themselves to me, I will then open up and I'll give all the love that I'm not a chump. I'm not going to do what I did last time. And those dreams are kind of trying to say to you, don't go into a relationship like that. Don't let the former issues, don't drag them into this relationship and blame this person. If you want a loving relationship, show up the way you want. If you want to be loved, then love. If you want to be treated with respect, then treat with respect, And our dreams so they show us the wounding. And so basically says, you still have work to do here. And then you can do that work. You can work on the issues around that past relationship. Of course, you want to warn your partner. You probably want to say, do you have somewhere to be for 3 or 4 weeks? It mightn't be a bad idea. Because when you're doing a therapy that works, the feelings and emotions around that therapy, they come up. But feelings and emotions do not have a timestamp. So I can remember something from the past and go, yeah, that happened then or happened last week. But if I get angry today, There's no timestamp with it. It could be something from childhood, or it could be something from last week. And I look around and I go, him. I'm angry because of him. And then we look for, this is what we do. We look for reasons for the anger, and we think and think and go, yeah, he didn't load the dishwasher. And we just let them have it or whatever, you know. But the anger is not about that. It's because you're working on an issue and the anger's coming up, and you have to do something. Like, we give people techniques to deal with anger when they're working through therapies, because if you don't, you're going to take them out on somebody else. Did I digress on that, or anyway?
No, that was good. And then how do we know we are healing?
Oh, well, there is an arc of healing that dreams take. So they start off like showing there's an issue. And then when we start working on the issues, our dreams take a nosedive. They take a very dark turn. And if they don't, then the therapy you're doing is useless. It's not working because none of those things are coming up. So we want to see your dreams take that dark turn. We want to see you like having unsavory characters. If you're working on dad, maybe there's unsavory males that show up in your dream. And you're like, oh, how do I get past this group of thugs in my dream? And that continues on for a while. You can have dreams with battles in them, people fighting. You can have a lot of blood and gore in your dreams, people getting their arms cut off and all that sort of stuff. And what that represents then is the wounding that you've received from whatever issue you're working on. So again, we want to see these things in your dream when you're working in therapy. And we know, and all the people that have been trained in the school, they're watching your dreams. If you're doing any of those healing programs like Soul Convergence, they're looking for those things in your dreams to say, okay, great, we know it's working, it's all good. And then we'll also see in those same dreams why you might reject the healing. That would be important too. But anyway, then your dreams switch to kind of the next phase, which is you see people in bandages. They might be in hospital, or maybe they've left hospital, but they're still in a wheelchair or something like that. And that's really good. That means that the healing has happened, or the surgery has happened. The doctor has worked on the wound, and now we just have to wait for the wound to heal. So that's a really beautiful place to see. Now, even though you have these dreams, or you will symbolically have dreams, like I just said, you might not remember those specific ones. So don't worry if you don't have them or don't remember having them. But we can tell from that arc of your dreams. Then the next part is you were dreaming of negative males. You now dream somewhere in the middle, you'll dream of negatives and positive males. Like, oh, this jerk, I really don't like him, but this guy, he's okay. And then it switches to nice guys. I dream of nice guys all the time. And then by the end of it, the men are gone from the dream. And you tend to have a dream about a celebration, like moving up a class or getting a trophy for something, or, you know, moving house, something that implies a major change in your life. And that's how we know most of the time from looking at a dream that healing has taken place, is you stop dreaming about the symbols for the issue. You don't have a dream that says, here's the issue and it's solved. A dream tells you it's solved by it not coming up. You know, your dreams focus on what you need to work on. So your dream can show a negative situation, and that's, yeah, here's something I need to work on. And then it can show a positive situation, but that means you still need to work on the issue. It's either how it is or how it needs to be. That's what your dreams are doing. They never show you something positive that you don't need to work on. And if they did, we could never interpret a dream. You'd have to channel on every one of them.
Mm. What does sleep paralysis during a dream mean?
Well, is it like after a dream when you wake up that you can't move, which is more common? It tends to happen to people who are channels. They have that, and they might feel like somebody's sitting on their chest or pressing on them. And once they learn to channel, that goes away. But yeah, it's like you're aware, as a channel, you're open. You're aware of spirits in the spirit world more so than most other people. And so you can wake up in a kind of like a state where you have that awareness, but you know, you may have in fact just been talking to your guides and you're like, oh, it's great, I'm going to get back into my body. You get back into your body and you're like, oh my God, there's a spirit in the room. And you're screaming, even though you were having a good conversation with that spirit moments ago. Or it may be something sent to you to kind of nudge you to wake up, like, hey, something going on. You can't ignore this. But yeah, it tends to only happen to guides. But sleep paralysis is a thing. Like, I've been to the hospitals where they do dream research, and they put a like, we've all seen this REM state thing, you know, rapid eye movement and all that, and it shows up on a graph. You can't really tell rapid eye movement by looking at the brain cycles per second. So you can't at all. I mean, if you're very experienced, you can. But so what they do is they put a monitor on your jaw, and when your jaw goes slack, they know you're in the dream state. So when we dream, all our muscles are cut off. And so we don't kick a football around the bed and kick our partner around and stuff. And so that's how they do the research then to know you're in the dream state. But for some people, when you wake up, that mechanism isn't cleanly switching over. But like I said, it still tends to only happen to people who are channels.
Mm. Are there dreams where dead people just are visiting you to say hi, or does
Yes.
it always have more meaning?
Oh, no, it can be they're visiting you to say hi, but definitely has more meaning. If you can talk to dead people in your dream, guess what? You can talk to dead people in waking life. So in other words, you can channel. And of course, then you want to change the word dead and go, okay, they're spirits, they're alive, they're still alive, only the body died. And there'll be some other things in the dream too,
Mm. So water defying gravity, what does it mean?
Oh, water, that's a new one. Water defying gravity.
How
Oh, yeah, I
about
know what it is. You've got a spiritual gift that you think is impossible. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's
I love it.
yeah.
How about reoccurring dreams about someone who is no longer in your life? What could that person symbolize?
Well, how do you feel about that person? Like, is it a parent that's gone or a loved one that passed away and so on? So, we have grief, obviously, for people who leave us, even if they're still physically around. There are, it's well understood. There are 7 stages of grief. Even if you move house, you go through 7 stages of grief. It's just part of who we are. It's baked into who we are. And so you might be dreaming of somebody, if it's a loved one, to cheer you up, to remind you of the good times that you had with that person, rather than, oh, they're gone now and I'm focusing on that. There's many, many reasons. But if it's recurring, I dare say it's positive. It's either positive or seriously negative, to the point that you already know it's seriously negative. But I'd say it's a cheer me up one.
Why don't we remember dreams or only remember the feeling of a dream? What's the point?
Though usually the people that don't remember dreams are people who are burning the candle at both ends. So you're going to bed late and you're getting up early, and as soon as the alarm clock goes off, you're up and in the shower. And so even people who say they don't remember their dreams, they tend to remember their dreams when they're on vacation, because they're not jumping out of bed, they're getting more sleep. And so it's very easy to fix the issue that you don't remember your dreams. There are many techniques for doing it. One of them, an easy one, is to set an alarm clock for an hour before you need to get up. And because you've had most of your night's sleep, your next sleep is, when you go back to sleep, won't be that deep. So you have 2 alarm clocks set. The one's going to go off an hour later, right? And when you wake up from that, because you've had a lighter sleep, you're very likely to remember the dreams that you had in that period of time. And so if you want to remember your dreams, the easiest thing to do is, when you wake up, don't open your eyes, lie still in the bed, and try and remember your dreams in that state. Don't get out of bed, go use the bathroom, and then go, what were my dreams? Now, eventually you get to the point where it doesn't matter. You're going to remember your dreams very easily. But yeah, everybody can remember the dreams. But I like what you did say, though, about the feeling when you wake up. This is really important. When people send me dreams, I will ask them, how did you feel when you woke up? So if you feel really good, then the dream's a positive dream telling you something positive. If it's really bad, like, ugh, then it's going to be about that. So the feeling you have from the dream is actually important.
What does it mean if a character in your dream falls and hits their head? Like they fell up the steps and hit their head.
Yeah, not good. It's a warning of stroke. So any physical damage in a dream, whether it's physical to a building or a car or any physical structure, or to a person, is often it's not saying you're going to have a stroke. Yeah, don't panic. It's saying, look, whatever you did around this situation, that the subject matter that the dream is talking about, you need to watch out, because it's not healthy for your heart. It's a circulatory system issue. So working on issues around mom, feminine side, makes those dreams go away. That's one of the beautiful things about dreams. They will warn you about a heart attack, for instance, 20 years before you'll ever have one. And so you'll see the symbols, you'll do what the dreams say, and then you'll watch all of those symbols disappear from your dreams. And it's like, okay, problem solved. And then if they crop back up, you can look and go, okay, what was I doing? And fix it. It's one of the best things about dreams.
Yeah, I love that about dreams. This is interesting. This person had this dream when they were a kid, and it was a recurring dream for them, and it bothered them a lot. And as an adult, it's still, they remember it well. And the dream is a white car chasing me through the front yard of my house over and over. I felt much terror, but no idea why.
So this is fear about the future. The front of the house is the future. The fact that a car is chasing you and you're not even safe in your own space is quite negative there. But here's the thing, kids' dreams are very primordial. So this is exactly the type of dream you'll have as a child. Children die in their dreams frequently each night. And we forget that though, as an adult, because it's so seldom we get killed in our dreams as an adult. But they're very primordial and they're very about a particular energy, masculine or feminine energy. Do I feel safe in the world? That's what masculine energy is really about. And this dream says that the dreamer does not feel safe and very likely still does not feel safe in the world. And so they do things to make the world safe. Like if I control everything, then I feel safe. And I don't feel safe unless I do. And so you do, and white in a dream like that represents being over controlling. So your other dreams will point out where this comes from, and this is an issue you're meant to work on in this lifetime. But you say you don't have that horrible one anymore, and this is one of the things to realize when you look at very old dreams. You might already have healed the issues that show up in those dreams. So look for more recent dreams, like in the last few weeks, to see, do you still have that issue? Now you'll know if you feel safe or don't feel safe, but look and see, do you still have the issue? Because it may be gone. A big difference is when you see gifts and what you're meant to do in your life, that doesn't change. So even if it's an old dream, we can still look at that and say, these are your gifts. This is how you're meant to use them. And it doesn't matter if it's 50 years later, it's still true.
Good night, everybody. And lots of thank yous, Michael. Lots and lots of thank yous to you.
That's our show. If you enjoyed it, don't forget you can watch the whole event for free with the link that's under this show.